team 2018. Of course, he's had a couple stops since then. Rockets forward Robert Covington joining the jump. Always so good to have you back. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You did something huge. On Thursday, you announced a 7-figure donation to your alma mater, Tennessee State University. Brand new men's and women's basketball practice facility. What inspired you to make such a significant donation?
Because, when I was here, I seen how much stuff that other facilities had and, the things that, they had access to. So, for me, just being able to give back and, be able to do my part, like it's time. And, like I said, I'm here, in this city, a lot. I see these kids, I see what they, have access to because, like I said, I've had the same access to those same things. And, for me to, do this for my alma mater it's a big thing because, like I said, it's many that have done stuff before me. And, now it's my time to, give back and, help them, elevate themselves because, like you said, this whole movement, with HBCUs and having that, like, why can't we have the same access to the same facilities and everything that, these other universities have? And they're having sponsors and everyone donate to them. So, for us, I feel like my program, where I grew up in as a man, as a player, and what helped molded me, like they deserve to have that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just all kinds of opportunities you are handing down to the generations coming behind you. It is so impressive. And you mentioned HBCUs. You're one of only 2 players in the league right now to have attended an HBCU. What does that mean to you? And what do you want to see change in the future in terms of that?
For, more kids to, experience that, going to HBCU was the best college experience I could ever imagine. And, everyone always says that, like, if you would have went anywhere else, like, would you been able to do something? No, I wouldn't have went nowhere else. Like, I had the opportunity to transfer, but I didn't. I loved everything about where I was at. So I had already established myself in this program, in OVC, and I had already put my imprint on everything. So why not finish what I started? And that's what I was always big on. So for me, to be here in this moment, like you said, it's life changing, because it's going to impact generations to come. So, for me to be able in this position, it's not only will I have access to it as well, but, we can help these kids get knowledge from a lot of different people. And, we can actually use this as an attraction point, for kids and, for some players. Like, people don't realize that Nashville is actually a really great city, and it's very uplifting. So there's so much that has changed over the past 10 years since I've been here.
Absolutely. And look, we are seeing more and more prospects say they're considering outside the box thinking. It's not just the major sort of big profile programs. And I think you and some of the other people who are putting the spotlight on HBCUs are definitely giving them an alternative path that can be so rewarding. In fact, it's so rewarding. You ended up in the NBA, so you've done just fine. And I want to ask about your Houston Rockets life. You just got a new coach, Stephen Silas. What is your reaction to the hire? Have you spoken to him yet?
Yes, I've spoken to him. He's a good dude, and he's already said that he wants to change the dynamic of things, and he has so much that he has in tune for us, and with the program that we have and with the team that we have, like, he can do a lot, and he wanted this job to be able to make a change and have the opportunity to coach 2 prolific MVP caliber superstars. And not too many people get that opportunity as their first head coaching job. So he's up for the challenge, and he's told me that he wants everyone to be as mentally focused and mentally locked in, and just overall continue to come in and work because, like I said, it's going to be a different transition of what his dynamic is. So he's just excited for the opportunity.
Well, you mentioned those 2 MVP caliber players. There are ESPN reports out there from this past week that indicate Russell Westbrook, James Harden have expressed uncertainty about the direction of the franchise, that they're not at the point, either one of them, of asking for a trade, but that's not out of the question down the road. How do you feel when you hear that?
I don't know what I haven't really talked too much because, like I said, I'm one of the guys that just, I have to go in and do what I have to do. And, those are the 2 focal points of the team. So with them, they are more engaged in that. And, I understand, uncertainty and how people may feel about certain things. But like you said, it's new. Like everything it's a whirlwind right about now. So everything's not going to make sense because, like you said, so much is happening all at once. There's so many decisions that have to be made in such a short amount of time. So it's not like a typical year of what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I can understand where they're coming from about uncertainty, but because no one really knows right now. Like, we've had two major changes, GM and a coach. So we don't know just yet. Like, everything has to continue to just fall into play. And once that all happens, then that kind of give you a clear direction of what the objective is. And like you said, everyone knows that the main objective is to win the championship.
Certainly, and we heard your new GM say this is a win-now team, which is, I know, music to the ears of any player. You mentioned that Coach Silas says that things are going to change for next season in a good way. What are your expectations? What is going to change for the Rockets next season? What does he talk to you about?
Just the way we play. Some ways of guarding. Having small ball at times. But having a dynamic big man and everything. And just incorporating to bring out the best of both of our superstars and put ourselves in a position to where we can bring out the best of both of them. And he said that he's up for that challenge and he wants to, them to get back to MVP status for both of them because they both can do it. They both can do it. And, James has done it for significant years and Russ has done unbelievable for the past 3-4 years. And, he wants them guys to get back to that same caliber because that will take us over the hump. And, we're going to follow right behind them guys. They're our leaders. They're the ones that, leading by example. And like I said, if we clicking on all cylinders, man, we've already showcased what this team can do.
Well, we will all be watching, and we'll be watching soon because apparently you're playing like tomorrow. Well, okay, end of December, but close enough. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck as you prepare for next season. And again, congratulations on what you did yesterday. So impressive. We will be watching that as well as that develops over the coming years.
Thank you, Rach.
And coming up, the MVP odds for the 2021 season were released. Who should be considered the front runner at this point? We'll dig into that. First, though, our second distant replay.
We got to play, yeah. Well, we got down. How many teams were here? 22. How many are left, fellas? And at midnight tonight, it's going to be 4.
Denver playing with such confidence right now. Jokic, he's got himself a triple-double here in Game 7.
I am absolutely shocked. Give this Denver Nuggets team a lot of credit. Him taking the fight away from the Clippers.
They are the comeback kids from Colorado.
That hurts. It hurts, but we move on.
Welcome back to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols with Ramona Shelburne, Zach Lowe, and last season did not quite go the way the Clippers envisioned, despite adding Finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard and an MVP finalist in Paul George. The Clippers failed to make the Western Conference Finals, something the franchise still has not done in its entire team history. And now that both Kawhi and Paul George's contracts have opt-outs after this coming season, it begs the question, Ramona, should the Clippers be concerned with either of their stars exiting next summer?
You know what? I think they have to have a sense of urgency. I don't think you need to be concerned. Paul George has said, I know he said it to you, Rachel. I remember him saying it when he literally joined the team. I want to retire a Clipper. That's the plan. He's from here. He's happy here. Kawhi Leonard is I'd be, I guess, a little concerned that if they had a terrible year this year, he could leave. But he's also from Los Angeles. He came here to win. I think they need to be concerned that the window would be closing. But the reason why those two guys signed those type of deals is because so they can sign another longer-term deal at some point, not because they want to leave. The question, though, is really what they need to make this team better. And I think what we learned last year is that your leader cannot be your coach. The loudest voice in the room cannot be your coach. It has to be somebody on the court. And I think Ty Lue's going to give them a different type of style. But I think in this offseason, they really need to acquire a true point guard and somebody who can bring some leadership ability because Kawhi Leonard missed that Kyle Lowry type point guard. Paul George missed a point guard getting him the ball in the spots that he wants it. No knock on Patrick Beverley, who we all love, but that's not his game. And Kawhi Leonard, frankly, is not LeBron James. He can't just slide over and say, oh, we don't have a real point guard, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. That's not his game either.
Right.
I think Ramona's right. I mean, both these guys signed with the intention of staying in Los Angeles, but have you paid any attention to the NBA in the last 5 years? Like, you take a nap for a month and 17 star players have changed teams. Anything is possible. There's no scenario that's too crazy. If this year goes really wrong somehow, like, of course they should be concerned. They should also be concerned about the flip side, though, is these guys' next contracts are going to take them into their early mid-30s, and they're going to be max contracts. Like, they're going to be paying on the back end of those contracts, which is why, to Ramona's point, these next 1, 2, 3 seasons are absolutely critical and urgent for the Clippers. If they are going to win a title, their best shot is right now, and they need to really get it right starting this year, starting with Ty Lue, and as Ramona hinted at, maybe tweaking the roster a little bit.
Yes, Ramona, I'm just going to say it. There's a guy with a loud on-court voice who knows how to wear a Clippers uniform, who is apparently on the trading block right now. So I'm not going to say Chris Paul's name, but someone should. All right, the Clippers also have several key contributors entering free agency on the flip side, including Sixth Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell, as well as midseason additions, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. JaMychal Green has yet to decide if he will opt in or out to his $5 million player option. So, Ramona, without a lot of flexibility in the cap, how should the Clippers approach the remainder of this short offseason? Do they go big game hunting? Is there a possibility of Chris Paul coming back? What do they do with these guys on the board who are their own free agents?
Yeah, look, when Chris Paul left the Clippers, I would have said, no way could I see him return to the Clippers one day, because he wanted to go, okay? This wasn't just, them not wanting to give him the 5-year deal. Mm-hmm. It was Chris being tired of the Clippers. But let me remind you, Chris Paul's family did not move from Los Angeles last year, okay? They still are here. He's never won, and this is a team that's ready-made to win. I don't think that bridge was burned. I mean, maybe it was knocked down a little bit. We could put some planks back in. But I think their priority this offseason has to be getting a point guard. If it's not like a big trade for Chris Paul, I think it'd be hard for them to have the kind of assets to acquire Chris Paul via trade. If it's a one-to-one deal, they'd have to probably involve a third team there. But there's another guy, I don't know, that was like playing on the Lakers last year, who was maligned during the season, but then came alive in the playoffs and won another ring, playoff Rondo. I don't know if he's free agent too, if you can get him.
First of all, it would be pretty incredible if the Clippers traded all the guys they got from the Rockets for Chris Paul to the Thunder to get Chris Paul back. That would be pretty incredible. But the Clippers are in a tough spot because they have no path to cap space, meaning if any of their outgoing free agents walk, they can't really replace them. So they'll cross their fingers JaMychal Green opts in. They'll probably re-sign Marcus Morris. And then the big piece becomes Montrezl Harrell. That's a player they cannot afford to lose for nothing. Some of the cap space teams may or not be interested in. Their interest level is unclear. Can they turn him into a sign and trade for that point guard that we're talking about, that elusive playmaker? Do they keep him on a 2-year, $30 million deal or something because the market for him is a little cooler than expected, and then turn him into something at the trade deadline? Montrezl Harrell is the player that I'm watching most closely for them.
Very interesting. Well, certainly a team that wants to be in top contention this season, so